This is Still a Part of Us, a podcast where mom and dad share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Lee Red, and in this episode of Advice and Encouragement from a Lost Dad, I chat with Matt, whose daughter was stillborn. By the way, you can hear both Lindsay's and Matt's episode about the birth of their child on episode 12 and 14. Today, Matt and I discuss how sometimes work after a loss is helpful and how it can help your mind be at peace and calm. We also discuss about how sometimes it's just nice to have friends who take the initiative and do small acts of kindness for people in need. As a word of caution to our listeners, this discussion contains emotional triggers of stillbirth and infant loss. Please keep yourself emotionally and mentally healthy and seek help if needed. Hope this helps someone out there.
All right. So the things that have been helpful, one of the things that stands out to me is somebody gave Lindsay a necklace that had dog tags, basically, but it was customized, little tiny thing, and it had Sadie's name on it and her birth date, and that was. Even though it didn't come to me personally, I thought that was a really nice gift, a nice gesture.
A nice tangible something.
Yeah, and I've been pondering, well, I wouldn't want a necklace. What would I want? And I've been thinking, if I had something tangible like that I could have as a subtle reminder, it would be nice. I never actually did get anything for myself. But
are you still thinking about getting something?
I am. Whether it's like a money clip or a watch, or I don't know. Lots of things have gone through my mind.
Somebody gifted me a tie clip.
Ooh, a tie clip. I like that.
Oh, nice and simple brass tie clip.
Yeah.
And it had Brandon's initials on it. So.
Yeah, something simple and tangible. I like, there's a lot of ideas out there. I like the tie clip idea. For women's jewelry, there's lots of things, but for men, not so much.
My problem is I don't like to wear the tie. I do once a week, so
yeah,
I don't wear the tie clip very often.
Yeah. Other things that have been helpful. The advice that I got to go to work, somebody recommended it to me, and I was able to go to work. My father-in-law helped out in that, and working really helped a lot. We got books and CDs. Those were nice. I don't know if they were therapeutic, but they were nice to little things that people gifted us. We lived in the United Arab Emirates at the time, and we had to fly back to the United States. And the thing that was really nice was we didn't have to worry about our travel arrangements. It was all done for us. And that was super nice. And even when we got back, our fridge was full of fresh food. Someone in our church had gone and filled our fridge with food. It was wonderful. Just a really nice gesture to lift us up when we were down. What else?
Is there any advice that you would say not to do, or
not to do? I know that my wife was really sensitive to a lot of things. I personally wasn't. It didn't matter to me what people were saying. I was able to keep it in perspective. I knew that they were well-meaning.
Well-meaning or ignorant of the situation.
Exactly, yeah. And so while there were some things that were not great to hear, I don't really remember what those were, and I might be guilty of saying them to someone now, because everyone's got their own situation, and they handle that situation different. So I would just say, do your best, but try to not say things that you yourself wouldn't want to hear. But I can't give you any concrete examples.
All right.
How has your spouse handled the loss, and how have you helped one another through the process? I think it's been a lot more difficult on Lindsay than myself. Even still today, she, like, in the moment now, there are times when she has a really hard day. Counseling has helped. When we were fresh off, when it just happened, we got a counselor and worked through some issues, and it really helped us to process things. It really helped to get us back to functioning, I guess. And as time has gone on since we've lost Sadie, the things that we've done in our relationship to remember her and to bond together as husband and wife have I don't even know how to say this. As we anchor ourselves around the event of Sadie's death, it brings us closer together. That shared experience does. And we have a knowing of how each other have handled the situation that makes our relationship stronger. And that knowing allows us to comfort each other in a way that no one else could. There's a question, how do you celebrate special occasions? We have done different things at different times over the years. The first year, we raised enough money to donate a cuddle cot to a local hospital in the Middle East. And that was both rewarding and challenging at the same time. But the more time goes on since then, I personally feel more gratitude for having been able to have done that. We do balloons on her birthday. We'll write messages on a balloon and let those balloons off into the atmosphere, helium balloons. We've done cakes. We've gone to her grave. We have, for Christmas, we put a tree on her grave and decorated it with candy canes and invited people to come and exchange a candy cane for an ornament. Mm. And now we have some very special Sadie ornaments. That's very cool.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah. And we're always thinking of her, always trying to find ways to bring her into our family and into our life. She's part of us. She's part of our family. And just because she's not physically there, we try to find ways to make her physically there. We have a close friend that knit a stuffed animal for her before she was born. And as we were leaving the United Arab Emirates, she gave us this stuffed animal to take with us, and we actually buried her with that stuffed animal. And then I don't remember if we asked for it or if she just made another one, but we got a second one. And to this day, we put that second one in pictures, and we it's a very special thing that we have there. And And so we used that stuffed animal to try to remember her by. And we talk about her. I think that's one of the biggest things. Advice that I could give is talk about her. Talk about the person who's no longer there. Use their name and try to remember them, because that's what we're longing for, is a memory. And it may cause us to cry, it may not, but you use their name and you talk about them, and it means the world. Using their name is really nice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah. I think that's all I got.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
A huge thanks to Matt for shedding some light on how grief and mourning has looked for him. This has helped me, and I know that it will help other parents and for those who are supporting lost parents in their lives. Head over to our website, stillapartofus.com. There you can find the show notes, including a full transcript of this interview and any resources that were mentioned. There you could sign up for our short and helpful email newsletter. You could learn how you can become a patron and support the work it takes to produce this show for just a few dollars a month. And there you can find out how to get in touch with us if you want to share your child's story on the show. The show was produced and edited by Winter and Lee Red. Thanks to Josh Woodward for letting us use his song, Vanishing Note. You could find him at joshwoodward.com. Lastly, subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend that might need it, and tell them to subscribe. Why? Because people need to know that even though our babies are no longer with us, they are still a part of us. Never doubt the courage of the French. They were the ones who discovered that snails are edible. Doug Larson.